As dawn broke, Sam was settling into his usual spot when a sleek car pulled over. To his shock, a sharply dressed man emerged, hastily leaving a perfectly fine baby stroller by the trash bin before speeding off. Sam's instincts urged him to call for help, but he decided on a different course of action. His choice would alter everything, setting off a series of unforeseen consequences. Eustace hesitated after seeing the discarded stroller, but eventually decided to take a closer look. The stroller, perfectly fine except for some scuff marks, seemed out of place near the trash bin. "What's this all about?" he murmured to himself as he approached. His curiosity overpowered his initial caution, nudging him to explore deeper. The stroller seemed like it held secrets waiting to be uncovered. He notices a few items inside, including a partially filled baby bottle and a folded blanket. These small, intimate objects suggested that the stroller had recently been in use. Eustace furrowed his brow and muttered, "Someone cared for this baby." Each item he found seemed to whisper a tale of care and abandonment. The baby bottle still had milk inside, further deepening the mystery. The sight of the baby bottle and blanket reminded him of his own family, long lost to time and circumstances. Eustace couldn't shake the feeling of bittersweet nostalgia. A lifetime ago, he sighed, memories flooding back. Those items brought back images of bedtime stories, cozy blankets, and a home filled with love. He found himself lingering, almost memorializing the life he once knew. He decided to take the stroller with him, thinking it might still be useful. Better with me than left here, he reasoned, gripping the handle firmly. The stroller might help him carry his things or even serve another unexpected purpose. He turned around and began to wheel it away, feeling like he was taking responsibility for whatever story the stroller held. As he wheeled it away, he felt a strange sense of responsibility, with questions about the owner haunting him. Who abandoned this stroller and why? Maybe it'll come to me, Eustace thought, looking at each passerby for clues. The stroller's presence seemed to demand answers, and he felt compelled to find them. It was more than just an object now. It was a quest. Eustace returned to his makeshift shelter, pushing the stroller along uneven streets. The wheels creaked and wobbled over cobblestones, echoing the instability in his life. He maneuvered the stroller through the labyrinth of the city, careful not to attract too much attention. This new addition to his possessions felt oddly significant, almost like he had adopted a silent companion on his daily journey. He encountered a group of fellow homeless individuals who gave him curious looks. "What you got there?" one of them asked, eyeing the stroller. Eustace just nodded in response, not feeling the need to explain yet. Another person chuckled. "Thought you were babysitting now." The laughter faded as Eustace moved on. The stroller was becoming a point of interest and possibly suspicion among his peers. Ignoring their stares, Eustace carefully examined the stroller for any identifying information. He scrutinized every inch, hoping for a name or address. "There's got to be something," he muttered, fingers tracing the fabric. He lifted the seat cushion and felt around the pockets. Each new discovery, or lack thereof, kept him on edge. He was thoroughly intrigued and determined to unravel the mystery. He finds a small, worn-out teddy bear tucked in a side pocket. The bear looked well-loved, with patches of fur missing from constant cuddling. "Well, hello there," Eustace whispered as he held it up. This was no ordinary lost item. It had clearly been cherished. The teddy bear deepened the puzzle, hinting at a family's love and raising more questions about the stroller's abandonment. It appears well-loved, adding to the mystery of the stroller. Each threadbare patch on the teddy bear seemed to whisper a story of comfort and security now lost. Eustace couldn't help but feel a pang of empathy. Who would just leave this behind, he wondered aloud. The bear hinted at a family once attached to it, deepening his resolve to figure out what had happened. Eustace decides he must find out more about the stroller's origin. He couldn't just ignore the clues that had inexplicably found their way into his life. Eustace stood in the alley, grasping the stroller's handle as he stared at the abandoned items inside. A baby bottle, a blanket, and a teddy bear. His mind was racing with questions. Who could have left it? And more importantly, where was the child? He would not let go until he found out what had happened, and he needed help. So he decided to start with Father O'Malley at the local soup kitchen. The next morning, he went to the priest, who listened intently while Eustace described his find. "This isn't just some discarded thing," Eustace insisted. Father O'Malley nodded. Concern lined his face. "We must get to the bottom of this." He suggested a check of local news and online forums for reports of missing children. The idea gave Eustace direction, a sense of purpose beyond mere survival. Eustace threw himself into research, tearing through newspapers and online archives. The hours evaporated, piecing together some fractured tale here, each hint leading him a little closer. "I am not going to let this drop," he said to himself. In his mind's eye, it was all tied in the stroller, the teddy bear, even the indistinct news accounts, breadcrumbs toward a secret. As he followed leads, a disturbing pattern started to emerge. A black SUV had appeared at different parts of the neighborhood, always lingering and watching. First, he chalked it up to paranoia, but when he saw it parked outside Father O'Malley's church, he grew more concerned. Who was inside? And why did they seem to be tracking him? One evening, Eustace tried to reach the car, but the engine growled to life, and it sped away before he could get close. His heart pounded as he realized that he was being watched. The urgency to uncover the stroller's origins deepened, and so did the danger. Whoever was behind this knew he was asking questions. Digging deeper, Eustace found the name of a rich businessman named Richard, who had a very scandalous past. The man had been accused of financial misappropriation, among other shady deals, but he had never been pinned. Now, Richard's name was cropping up in connection with the missing child cases that Eustace had unearthed. "What are you hiding?" Eustace muttered, determined to find out. His discoveries didn't pass unnoticed. Richard's men started tailing him, and Eustace had to be on the move. He never really slept in the same place twice, dodging them with the cunning of a street urchin. Abandoned buildings and populous marketplaces were his havens, but no place felt safe. He knew he was close to something dangerous. Instead, he found Katie, a quick-witted runaway with an uncanny ability to hack into databases and get him information he wouldn't be able to get. "You any good with computers?" he asked. She smirked, pulling out a laptop. "I can find anything." A partnership was born, built on necessity and a shared goal. With Katie's help, Eustace found some shocking connections between Richard and missing infants. Each new revelation pointed towards something far more sinister than he had imagined. Then, Father O'Malley brought crucial news: a desperate couple reported their baby stolen, fitting the timeline of the abandonment of the stroller. The pieces of the puzzle were coming together, but as the truth unraveled, each step closer to the dark operation, he raised more and more risk. Having Katie by his side and Father O'Malley as an ally, Eustace readied himself for the final confrontation. He had set out on a journey seeking answers. Now he fought for justice. He wasn't about to stop. Eustace grasped the important lead tightly, instinctively knowing this might just be the thread that would get him out of the labyrinth. As he and Katie dug deeper into the history of the couple, they found a heart-wrenching connection with Richard through a failed adoption. Richard was the middleman. Katie found out the words spilling out in a ring of realization. Eustace nodded as all the pieces fit. They subtly questioned neighbors who confirmed the timeline and further cemented their hypothesis. The deeper they went, the more it seemed Richard was caught up in something far darker: a black market baby ring. The duo was determined to expose this truth and comb through Richard's financial records, finding unsettling transactions. "These numbers don't add up," Katie whispered as she scrolled down the data. Eustace's face hardened. "We need concrete proof," he insisted. As they connected missing infants to Richard's clandestine dealings, the significance of the abandoned stroller became chillingly clear. Urgency pressed on them. They had to act before more children vanished. Working tirelessly, they pieced together damning evidence, each revelation pushing them closer to the heart of Richard's crimes. Just as they closed in, Richard's men spotted them. "We've been seen," Katie whispered, peering through a shattered window. Eustace's heart raced. "We have to go now," he ordered. Alleys were scanned in choices, and they were forced to retreat into an abandoned building. As the voices of the men grew closer, they held their breath, hiding behind the shadows. Finally, the footsteps disappeared. "That was too close," Eustace growled. But the danger wasn't over, it was just beginning to ramp up. Injured but not deterred, Eustace let Katie dress his wound. "We can't afford to slow down," she insisted, even as her hands didn't betray a quiver. They retreated to their temporary hideout and brainstormed their next course of action. Katie's tireless search yielded a storage unit connected with Richard. "This could be the smoking gun," she breathed. Breaking in, they found stacks of cash, forged adoption papers, and incriminating photos. Among them was a picture of the missing baby. "It's them," Eustace confirmed, feeling the weight of their discovery. In possession of such undeniable proof, they made their final move. They went back to Father O'Malley, who assisted them in getting in touch with the bereaved couple. The moment the identity of the child was confirmed, emotions ran high. "That's our baby," the mother sobbed over the phone. Their mission was heavy in its meaning, thus armed with their findings. The next morning, Eustace and Katie entered the police station. It was not yet over, but the evidence they carried with them would start Richard's fall and mark justice for the stolen children. "This is everything," Eustace told the officer. "We believe this will expose Richard's illegal activities." The officer's eyes widened as he reviewed the evidence, nodding gravely. "We'll take it from here," he assured them. The weight of their efforts seemed to lift, even if momentarily. The police investigate and validate Eustace and Katie's findings. Officers interviewed them extensively, covering every detail. "This will take some time, but rest assured we're on it," the lead detective promised. For days, Eustace and Katie stayed on edge, awaiting updates. They knew the police were digging deeper into Richard's past and current operations. The validation of their findings brought a sense of accomplishment, but also a lingering anxiety about potential backlash. Richard is arrested and charged with multiple counts of illegal activities. The news spread quickly, both on the streets and online. "They got him," Katie said, almost in disbelief. Eustace felt a wave of vindication wash over him. News reports showcased the arrest, exposing Richard's crimes to the public. The scenes of Richard being led away in handcuffs were a testament to their hard work and determination. Justice was finally catching up. The couple is reunited with their child, bringing joy and relief after their harrowing ordeal. Thank you so much," the mother cried, hugging Eustace tightly. The father held their baby close, tears streaming down his face. Eustace stood back, watching the reunion with a warm feeling in his chest. Katie smiled, her eyes misty. "We did good," she whispered. The scene marked a beautiful conclusion to a painful chapter in many lives. Eustace gains newfound respect and appreciation from the community for his bravery. Neighbors and old acquaintances began to approach him, offering thanks and well wishes. "You did something incredible," one of the soup kitchen patrons said. Eustace nodded modestly, feeling a sense of belonging he hadn't felt in years. Katie nudged him. "Looks like you're a hero," she teased. This recognition provided a fresh start, giving Eustace validation and acknowledgement he had never expected. Eustace's choice not to call 911 initially led to uncovering a dangerous yet critical secret. Richard was running an illegal adoption ring, profiteering from stealing and selling babies. "If I had called then, we'd never have found this out," he said thoughtfully. The revelation was staggering. It underscored how far-reaching the harm had been and how crucial their actions were. Father O'Malley nodded. "You've done more than just find a lost baby," he said. Eustace reflects on the journey that brought him from a discarded stroller to exposing a sinister operation. All this from one moment of curiosity, he mused, thinking back to the day he found the stroller. The events that followed were a whirlwind of danger and discovery. Katie listened, smiling. You saw a mystery and couldn't let it go, she said. Eustace recognized that his actions had set off a chain of events with profound impacts. He begins to rebuild his life, inspired by the impact his actions had. With newfound respect, Eustace considered the possibilities. There's more I can do, he thought confidently. Donations from community members and offers of assistance began to trickle in. Katie stood by his side, both of them contemplating their next steps. We've opened one door. There are many more, Katie said. Eustace nodded, realizing a new chapter was just beginning for him. Katie decides to use her skills for good, helping Eustace and others in need. I can do more than just hack, she announced. She started looking for ways to assist other missing persons investigations or support local shelters. Eustace admired her resolve. You've got a real talent. Use it wisely, he encouraged. Their partnership had evolved from survival to purposeful action, each finding a calling in their adversity. Katie was determined to make a difference. Together, Eustace and Katie find a sense of purpose and belonging, having changed many lives for the better. We did good, Eustace said as they planned their next move. It wasn't just about survival anymore. They had a mission. The community's trust and their own newfound determination propelled them forward. They became symbols of hope and resilience. On to the next adventure, Katie said, her eyes gleaming. Eustace nodded, ready for whatever lay ahead.